Drum roll, please.
Ta-da! Here we are. It is February 2025, and we are here for the magic and wisdom of essential oils. And Joseph and I have some cool stuff planned for you today.
Yes,
And
indeed.
if you've got your Blue Tansy and Vetiver, we're going to be working with those two oils today and do some play. We may talk a little bit about cedarwood too, but we've chosen Vetiver and Blue Tansy.
Yeah, why? Why did we choose Vetiver and Blue Tansy?
Oh, it's
Because?
because yes, because we want to connect today.
Mhm.
We've got this. I don't know if anybody saw my email I put out this week, but it was a woman all curled up, sort of underground with a bunny rabbit, and we're still sort of feeling that coziness of our winter time of going inward. But pretty soon we're going to start rising with our next season, the wood element, and being this year the wood snake. We've got some really good expansion coming up. So we want to prepare you for that, right, Joseph?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Get ready. And part of getting ready is you've already got some Vetiver and some Blue Tansy around, and hopefully they're well diluted in a good balance for you. Um, so maybe we should use them.
Maybe we should. I always love to start a session with using the points, and then we talk about them some more, and then we come back, maybe do some storytelling, and maybe some of our audience today might have a vetiver or a blue tansy story that they want to share in relationship to what we're talking about today.
What
And
is
then we
your
come back
magic?
and kind of say, "Oh, how was that for you?" So let's get into our session today.
So you're going to put your best foot forward? Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
going to put my best foot forward.
And it's going to be on camera. I'm waiting. I'm watching. Okay.
Do I have to do my yoga pose like like this?
Very soulful.
All right, so we're going to be working with kidney one. If you have the card deck, we're going to be working with kidney one is going to be card number 14. The other point we're going to do is do 20 or governing vessel 20, which is card number 1. Or we have a card that has both of them, and that is card number 33. So,
Mhm.
dealer's choice today on which card you want to grab. All right.
Mhm.
I'm going to
So
actually do this
when
with
I'm
my thumb.
teaching kidney one, in a textbook, it's going to be 1/3 of the way from the tip of the toes to the tip of the heel. Okay, 2/3 up from the heel, 1/3 down. People go, "What? I can't do fractions." So I say it's in the center of the scrunch. Okay, so scrunch your toes, and in the
Yep,
center of that scrunch, there it is, kidney one right there.
there it is.
Okay, you
There it
go
is.
there,
And I just got a cramp in my foot.
apply liberally because you want to be liberal. Okay, and it's the what I love with vetiver, along with the warm and lightly seductive smell, is this. It's a little unctuous. I mean, if you got a cold bottle of vetiver, you've got like a solid thing of vetiver, right? You have to warm it up to make it flow again, and putting it on the foot and just you almost have to massage kidney one,
Mhm.
okay? And kidney one doesn't mind at all. Oh,
It's a beautiful point. There's that little hollow that well, I'm using my thumb right now. So there's that little hollow that my thumb is just sort of nesting in right now. And it's feeling very nurtured in there.
but and it's the immediacy of like here and then there. It's settling. Um, getting the gadgetry together so we can do something on Zoom. Okay, having something to say, getting everything ready. And then the editor comes in and it's like, this is simpler.
Yeah, it's this restorative, like stabilizer. But there, for me, there's this nourishing quality
Hmm?
to it.
Hmm.
It's very nourishing, very nurturing. Um, it sort of helps all the scattered parts of me get reconnected
Hmm.
and grounded and rooted. And
Yeah.
when we think of the plant in a physical form, those roots can reach down and stabilize soil and reach clear down
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12 feet into the earth.
It, it
So,
it's
yeah.
crazy when you see a whole vetiver plant uprooted and realize that the up is far less than the root. That's
Yeah.
like wow.
My friend in Hawaii, they have to schedule a backhoe to come in to harvest their vetiver, and it's quite the process because taking it out of the ground is one thing, but then they have to wash all of those roots and wash them properly before they can distill them. So it's a crazy process and requires some efforting.
Yeah.
So
More.
vetiver is really brings these penetrating roots into the places that maybe in within us are disconnected. So it's
Mhm.
coming in with those you know how roots connect.
Yeah.
It connects us. So
Yeah.
I also really love that part of it.
It there's a play on words, but it's the soul and the soil. Okay. And this is very much for me, it's a very earthy, it's luxuriant still, but it's very earthy. And it really like literally I feel like my feet are on the ground.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I always feel more connected to the ground. And when we think about this time of year being more of a yin time of year, we're going within, that it enriches the yin as an oil, it enriches the yin. And it's cooling and moistening at the same time. Um, but it's also I feel like there's a harmonization between the mind and the body when I use this, and I think that's part of that grounding and nourishing that it does.
Yeah. Uh, the we use the word a lot, embodied. There's that, you know, energy, mind, body, embodied.
And well, and also, you know, our own taproot. I
Hmm.
feel like it connects us to our own little taproot. Like it's nourishing us and supporting us in a way that we can be connected and like see our way forward as we transition into the next season soon.
I
But
mean,
keeping us nourished while we're in that, in still in that
and
hibernation.
what a perfect pairing with kidney one, because if I'm doing qigong, the idea is that I'm breathing in the earth and the moisture of the earth through kidney one to
Mhm.
nourish me, to nourish my body, to nourish the cycling. Here's this idea for you, okay? Nourish the cycling between heaven and earth to keep that um, well, well lubricated is way too mechanical an idea, but in flow, where we are accessing the earth and it is accessing heaven through us. And we are accessing heaven through the earth, and it is how it is meant to be.
Yeah, it's sort of rhythmic.
Hmm.
And rhythmic with the seasons, so its cadence changes throughout the year. If I use vetiver on kidney one in summertime, it's going to be really a different experience than using it now in our winter time. So there's always that element of play with it too.
Well, before they spend the next hour on vetiver, mm,
Yeah,
oh,
Cheryl says, love vetiver for its earthiness. Yeah,
yeah,
there's just this rich earthiness. I feel immediately connected.
yeah. One more
Yeah.
little cultural aside, not little, but in Southeast Asia, where a lot is grown, the fronds or the leaves are woven together into mats, and those mats can hang down and be shades. Okay. So, in a monsoon season where you have really hot, moist air, the mats will get soaked with it as they're keeping the rain out of wherever you live. And then as the sun comes out and they dry, the vetiver scent is just,
Mm. Well, that's a good that I love that imagery.
yeah,
That. Yeah.
it's like the tatami in Japan. The woven grains, the woven grasses, um, with a scent. Um, they're shelter. They're something that connects and protects. Um, and then they're scented. I mean, ooh, or
Yeah.
ooh la la.
Hmm. Some of the research and studies that have been done, because vetiver has this grounding and calming effect on the mental emotional body, it's been useful for ADD and ADHD. Um,
No wonder I love it.
yeah, it's also good for shock and trauma
Uh,
because it's keeping you in your body in times where there's acute or chronic shock or trauma because it's so grounding and nourishing.
mm,
Helps with insecurities, those types of things.
mm,
So yeah, it's good on so many levels.
mm.
Did anybody try it on kidney one when we started? Anybody have any share with that?
Share your soul with us.
Yes. That's a reflexology joke too.
Well, at least you didn't put your foot down on me.
No, I didn't put my foot down on it. You know you're always going to get jokes when you come onto the Magic and Wisdom.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think everybody's so grounded and so in their little cocoon this morning. They're just absorbing everything that we have to share, right?
Well, the oil does that too. I mean, you were mentioning this in someone with trauma. There's often a frantic discussion of what the trauma was and how it was. And it's almost as if it's an attempt to stay away from landing with it, um, from grounding it. The, when in danger, when in doubt, run in circles, scream and shout. Um, and a lot of the healing is actually getting back in touch with the earth.
Mhm.
Because if you're in touch with the earth, then maybe the trauma can be something in the past, not gone, not disappeared, but then you're dealing with now and what are the next steps, or even just standing your present ground.
Yeah, so if you were working with a client that had experienced recent trauma and needed to talk about it, um, do you think that would be a good point? I mean, I know, Joseph, you work with a lot of individuals that have experienced trauma, and would that be like a starting point for a session, is to get them really grounded in that experience, not to diffuse or diminish their experience, but maybe just give them the opportunity to be grounded and be able to even just express it
Yeah.
in in a healthy way.
Um, it's interesting because I haven't used it that way. I have something of an aversion to Kitty One because putting a needle there, somebody's gonna scream. Okay, it's just really really intense that point. But putting Vetiver there, okay, that is something I am usually thinking sleep. Okay, and with I've got two vets right now. Both of them were rangers. Okay, and both of them did rope drops into territory. Okay, and both of them had significant trauma from drops. Okay, and being then dropped upon, and then having to get up and run and keep going, and never having it dealt with until years later when they're in chronic pain and can't move around very. And there is this like it's still happening me to me energy about someone like that. And I think this would actually encourage that I'm back in my feet. Now, think of the metaphor here. They're jumping, they're rappelling down a rope, they're landing on the ground hard. Okay. And they never want to land that hard on the ground again. which is I don't want to be on the ground again, in an embodied way. So I think it would actually, I'll get back to you on this one. Okay. Um,
See, this is the beauty of AcuAroma Therapy, that we expand this knowledge base. We expand the capacity and the potential of this modality by having conversations like this with others about what is possible and what could we try and what might we want to explore
mhm,
with clients and with ourselves. So, yeah, I love rich conversations like this.
mhm.
Um, Nancy said, thoughts about vetiver
Good.
versus I can't pronounce it properly. Ruhkhus. And I think that's just the Indian
That's
name for
it's
vetiver.
and it's usually for the perfume grade or the ones
Ah,
that are made in tars. The ones that are used has a base for something else, and
mhm.
they're usually a very high grade. They're a vetiver as far as I know.
Yeah, Kathy Skipper has this, it's labeled as this, and she has some really great sources for vetiver because she goes to India, or they've been to India. She has actually family ties to India that she discovered later in life. And so they've been able to source some great vetiver and this ruchus. I can't say it. I'm not even going to try. Um, but yeah, I've gotten some from her, and it has a very rich scent
Hi,
to it.
Nancy. You're on screen now.
Yes, Nancy, did
Yeah,
you want to
I
say
I
something?
I did. And I apologize for my appearance. I just came out of a couple of hours of skiing
Oh,
since
yay.
I'm on the East Coast and I've got helmet hair as well as who knows what else. But anyway, I'm really glad to be here. Always grateful for this. I guess I was thinking of how much greener it smells, and of
Mm,
course I've heard it pronounced Rukush. I mean, depending on, but I think I have a beautiful bottle from a supplier here in the East. And I've also heard people say that it seems like it's a more feminine version, like the energetics are more feminine than vetiver, which is, pretty strong. And anyway, it's just given that you guys are so articulate about energetics, that was why I threw it in. I don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
derail the conversation, but I thought I would ask. I am conscious that in my practice, women love this more than they like the vetiver.
Huh.
it's interesting on what Nance, when I was introduced to this, the Ruchush, I it was when I was doing Kathy Skipper's Alchemy of Menopause, and she
Right.
used that in the alchemical journey through menopause. And so that makes sense when you say it feels like has been referred to and feels more like it's feminine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I might have picked that up from Kathy Skipper. I just before she started that Wisdom of Menopause, I did a weekend with them,
Mhm.
and that's maybe where I picked it up. It may even be why I ended up buying it. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've got two 4-ounce bottles of Rucus. When David
Well,
Joe, an acupuncturist, had an oil company, Floricopia.
oh yes, I'm very familiar with David. I come from the old days.
Okay, I come from the old ways, so this is good to hear. Then you're in off the slope. This is good. I like that. Um, the Rucus is the one that is usually used for the candy and the flavoring. When
I
vetiver
had
is
no
used as a
idea.
flavoring. So
Mm.
usually flavorings are a little sweeter than the more stock version, if you will. Certainly, we're going to see that with the Blue Tansy. Okay, but that it has yeah, it is the one that is preferred by perfumers, which is a more feminine use usually. Okay.
Here we go.
Although some perfumes are made for men for before the bedchamber time. Okay. And I was trying to be very subtle there. Okay.
Appreciate
Um,
it.
and it has that, um, it has, there is a warmth and inviting that is not quite as grounding has for me as this vetiver.
Okay,
I love that. I love exploring
thank
all the
you.
facets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, vive la différence.
Oh,
And
yeah.
um, it's part of the palette. If different plants, different seasons, different times, different getting different varieties, different chemovars that they would say, and that a culture has decided to go in that direction. Edify, and this is special. Okay, for whatever reasons, that says a lot about our interactions with it. I mean, we're co-evolving the and certainly the Indians have co-evolved this scent over millennia.
And I'm wondering if there's different botanical strains in India, because vetiver is a member of the grass family. So it's related to lemongrass, palmarosa, which we know palmarosa is much sweeter and greener, and citronella. So um, that makes me curious.
Well, and there's ginger grass too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean the
Yeah.
palmarosa, lemongrass. There's geranol and those. They're very strong insecticides, if you will.
Yes.
And
Yes.
because
Citronella.
you don't want the bugs eating up the grass, because that makes your mats and your papyrus or your writing material.
Mhm.
Ooh, you're getting me going. You're getting me going. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
sorry, I was gonna look for my bottle here.
Well, the vetiver even repels termites, so that's pretty significant.
yeah. Well, an interesting combination: vetiver and orange oil is used a lot in repelling termites, and it is one of the classic combinations in a perfuming from India is vetiver and orange, and then something on top of that.
Hmm.
Uh, Quite often, like a lotus flower. Um, the they will often use the rucus, the vetiver, like I will often use a tree, to
Mhm.
calm and stabilize. But then there's also that rooting.
Yeah,
Ooh, ooh, I gotta let's go so I can go play with it too.
I know, I know. And if you want to experiment with kidney
Thank
one,
you, Nancy.
if you
You're
want to
welcome.
experiment,
I was moving around and I didn't want, it's sometimes distressing for me visually when people are moving around with their cameras. I was looking for my bottle to see if the bottle said anything, but it's absolutely, I guess it's just a different distillation. I really appreciate this conversation. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. All right.
Just
So,
quickly before we go, if there's more comments, there is this place on Facebook. What's it called? Uh,
AcuAroma Therapy enthusiasts.
that's it. Okay. So if I find out more, I'll throw it in there. Okay. So it can be
Great.
shared.
Thank
Okay.
you very
You
much. Yeah.
too. You can throw it in there. All right.
Well,
Not,
it'll take me down a path at the moment, I'm sure.
yeah. And your feet will enjoy it.
Yes, as soon as they thaw out. I went to put the vetiver on my feet and I thought, they're too cold. I can't.
Can't
So
even feel it.
I need to thaw out before I can do any of this, but I'm grateful.
Now,
Thanks.
see, now you have a therapy right there. Soak them in some hot water.
There
As
you
you
go.
dry them off, massage the vetiver into the soles of your feet.
That's
Okay.
my plan. It's
Yeah.
going to be a lovely,
Good.
relaxing afternoon here.
That sounds good.
Yay.
Well, with that, let's hop into our blue tansy. So we're gonna go to our governing vessel 20. I always like to find it by sticking my thumbs in my ear and then bringing my middle finger up, and it lands just right on the right spot. I know it's silly, but this is my
Write
method.
it like this? What?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, all right. I've got my blue
I
tansy.
always love this. I love to. You say blue tansy, people go, yeah, huh. And then you go like that, and you go blue tansy.
Mm.
Hmm.
It is one of my very favorite fragrances. Between that and ylang ylang, ugh, I'm in heaven.
And that blue is 25% dilution blue, okay?
Yeah. And mine is 15%. It's still dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Thank
gonna,
God it kind of works its way in over time.
yeah. All right. That sweet green. Oh. Hmm. I feel like when I smell this oil, I feel like my adult self and my child self get to meet each other and have this really
Mm.
wonderful conversation. And my child self always says, "Why are you always being so serious? You need to just come play with me."
Come take a walk on the flowers.
Yes, absolutely. All right. What's going to happen, Joseph, when we put this on due 20?
It's happening.
It's happening already.
So, governing vessel 20 itself, I mean, it could be used with moxa for hemorrhoids to bring the bottom up, so to speak. Okay. It's used to stabilize the connection between heaven and earth, especially when it is overly amping into the head. Okay. And kidney one is often used with it to bring the energy down when we're too heady and there's fire in the head. Right. So, what I feel when I do this is not like I'm being capped off of a volcano, though that could happen. Um, but this, and then there's that little, there's a little childlike, not childish, but a little childlike, "Yeah." There's a little
Mhm.
smile. Um,
The aromatic energetics of that blue tansy are the harmonizing, balancing, circulating energies. So sometimes I feel like it's just this gentle rolling wave. Sometimes I feel like it's uh, regulating, circulating, harmonizing in an infinity loop.
yeah,
Yeah, it always has movement to it. It always has flow and it has play.
yeah. Play.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think that's one of the major values of life. And there's not a whole lot of oils that the first thing they say to me is play. And
Mhm.
this one definitely, I mean, okay, some of the play of how I learned it. Working with Tiffany Carroll. This is the Healing Oil Collective. I've never experienced blue tansy before. Okay. So I'm living in San Rafael at the time, which is where Original Swiss Aromatics is. And I go in and I say, hey, I need some blue tansy. And Julian, Kurt Schnabloch's stepson, Julian goes, you mean Roman chamomile? Or no, excuse, you mean Moroccan chamomile? And I went, no, blue tansy. And he goes, you mean Moroccan chamomile? And I went, no, I'm pretty sure I mean blue tansy. He goes, let you smell Moroccan chamomile. Played with me, okay? And he's right. Um, in if it's just tansy, it can have too many ketones in it, which can be a liver toxicity, kidney toxicity, all sorts of bad stuff. But the Moroccan chamomile, okay, which is related in the tansy family, but is also chamomilish. I think I just made up a word there. I'm playing
Chamomile-ish? I love
chamomilish,
it.
okay? Um, the first moment, it's sweet. It's like candy. Um, and I'm like, you can't do that to oil. Did you add sugar? Um, and that, first of all, I grew up in a culture where sugar was a reward for getting your hair cut or doing anything right. We even used to like, we got sweets after going to the dentist, if you know what I mean. Um, and the, and you get milkshakes and all sorts of chocolate after your cold chocolate after you get your tonsils removed. strange ideas. Anyway, but this sweet has always been a sin or a play or something like that. This sweet is more the sweetness of life. Um, like it's a really good day walking through the fields of flowers. Um, you got some Moroccan chamomile blue tansy stories in you. I know that. Would you play?
Well,
Would you play one for us?
I just think it softens rigidity.
Mm,
I use this oil a lot with women on their menopause journey because something happens to certain women when they get to this point that they've had enough of everything and they don't like the way their body's looking anymore or the way they're feeling, and they start to get rigid and resentful. And when I bring blue tansy into play, that softens those hard edges and lets them look at themselves and situations in a different way. So I know the transformative power of it, i- i- in dissolving resistance to material that's ready to be processed and dealt with.
mhm, mm.
Yeah, so I know that it feels that way. I'm gonna put up a link because Dan Teneple, who we interviewed a couple months ago in our Magic and Wisdom, and he shared his beautiful essential oil company where he's connecting people around the world. He has got an organic blue tansy right now that's going to be available, and it's going to be at a very good price. I think it was 15.99 for 5 ml. And
Wow.
it's third party, I know, it's third party verified. And he's got all of the data sheets, the chemical profile sheets, GCMS data on it, and you get to see there's actually a picture of the, I don't know if you can do a share. Can I do a share? Can I show you
I made you a co-host. You should be able to.
okay, I'm gonna do the blue tansy. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna share this. This is the, oops, did I share? Yeah. Okay, it's the Malagasy group that they're working with, but I want to show you the field. Look at this.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a field of blue tansy. And I'm trying to find out exactly what the location is, but I wasn't able to dive into it far enough. But this is the Malagasy, and they're a three-generational family business that's dedicated to sustainability and community. And I think this must be, no, this is Morocco. Um, so they practice permaculture. They ensure that their communities are strong and healthy. So they're doing some really wonderful things. But here's the price breakdown: 5 ml, 15.99. So it's
There-
$4 off right now, and they're taking pre-orders right now. So I just wanted to share that because we had
mm,
such a great conversation with Dan, and he was so delightful in sharing what he was doing. And I know I've been a member of their group for a couple years now, so I've been watching them grow. So,
I'm gonna throw one thing in here. Okay, so in Chinese medicine, menopause is often seen as a second spring. Okay, the
yes.
first spring is the spring of offspring. The second spring is a spring of grandmothering. Okay, where you become a mother to the generations or to the village or to the tribe. Okay, and so there's a renewal of fertility on a different scale. Okay, um, in a different soil, one might say. Okay, and I've heard you the women on their menopausal journey. Okay, and the classic Western is going to be something. I'm not trying to mansplain here. Okay, but you're
It's
drying
fine.
up. Okay, you're drying up. All
You're
right.
going in.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that this there is a nourishing, a relaxing. I've got to think, like many other flower oils, deeply hormonal balancing piece to it. And then with the, we're talking joining heaven and earth. We've got this axis, kidney 1, governing vessel 20, all right? And a hot flash is this follicle stimulating hormone when there's not that many follicles left to stimulate, okay? And so it's a hot flash. And we've got a blue oil, okay? Hot flash, we have a blue oil. And chamulazine, I just like saying it, okay?
Doesn't that sound so elegant? Shamus.
Chamulazine, my darling. um, it's got that, it's cooling. It's, I don't know, I feel like a commercial, right? It's cooling, it's refreshing. Um, there is something, um, it's not so serious, but it's still um, purposeful. Um, I don't know. You say more about it. I know you can.
Well, there's the fluidity. It's also, I use it when I'm making up a well, I don't want to say decongestant, but if a child has a cold, I love to use this because that'll help clear some of the sinuses and things, because it is also an expectorant.
Mm.
Um, so, you think of it in different ways of getting flow going in the body. Anything that's stuck in the body, whether that's congestion up in your head or in your chest, you can use that to get some more flow going. When I'm referring to menopause, there's a lot of liver stagnation that can happen during menopause because the liver's taking over some of the hormonal responsibilities. And so using that on like something like liver 3 is so helpful to relieve some of that stagnation and get some flow going.
Yeah. But I just, the way you used flow just hit me. It's like a lot of times, like, um, if you think about flow, you think about plumbing and our things
Yeah,
flowing. Okay.
exactly.
And this is a flow that is more with the sine wave of it, the smoothness of the flow. When water goes over a smooth edge and makes this sheer, clear wall, um, there's a fluidity that is almost unimaginable until you see it or feel it. And then it's not just, hey, the plumbing's working, flush it. It's like, ah, there's a wave. That's the word I'm getting at.
I just got a good visual of some of the rivers and streams that we stopped and saw in Glacier National Park. And they had that fluidity that flowed over the different colors of rocks, and it was just so
Yeah,
stunning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
And
you're
you have to
looking
see
through
it. Yeah.
a magical lens,
Mhm.
and it's clear, but it's magical. Hmm.
Yeah, Blue Tansy really has that magical quality. It also can help bring flow to things that are closed off. Maybe there's a trauma, maybe there's something that you've compartmentalized emotionally, and it can help take this quarantined material and
Mhm.
sort of start creating that flow, that sheen over it that helps it um, come to the surface, resolve, dissolve, and help you process it in a
Mhm.
really gentle, um, kind way, I guess. Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's in the same sunflower family as helichrysum. Okay. We've got the Roman and the German chamomile. We've got the blue tansy, Moroccan chamomile. Okay. And
Yeah.
there's this flowers has wound healers. The chemistry really, really helps the microcirculation. This is the platelets going through the capillaries, and even smaller vessels, just where it's at. And that is flow at the finest level, at the deepest level. Yeah.
Nancy says that her introduction was using Blue Tansy for alignment, and she can see alignment between kidney 1 and governing
Hmm.
vessel 20. Yeah, in relationship to like chakra healing, if you're working with the third eye chakra, That can help you find flow or visionary. So facilitating imagination, your ability to play and engage with what could be or what wants to be. Opening up the fifth chakra, the throat chakra. So moving energy that might be bound up so you can speak your truth. Um,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. The heart, it has an affinity to the heart chakra. So utilizing laughter and play to clear away any kind of pains of the heart or betrayals. Also, the pericardium, the heart protector, it has an affinity to that too. So, yeah, those are ways that you can use blue tansy if you're working with your chakras.
Yeah. It brings new ideas to dealing with the blues.
Yes, new ideas to dealing with the blues. I like that. I like that
Mhm,
in a
mhm,
very playful way. I just
mhm. Yeah, well, I mean, isn't that the way? You use the term material, okay? And when dealing with difficult material and dealing with wounds, okay? And in my Western background and in psychoanalytic sense, it's like it's heavy shit, man. That's a technical term, okay? And that we could engage it in conversation, and not in a childish play, but in a way that we can play with it so that the wound has a chance to move, the wound has a chance to heal, um, rather than say static. Um, I'm thinking back with the vets I work with, a goodly number of women, and they've got the wounds of being in a misogynistic world, including the military version of that. Did you notice what I did there? That. Um, and the look, I just took a sigh
yeah.
because the material is not so heavy when I can play with it. Um, and there is a sacred play. This is not a dismissive play. Go play someplace else. Okay.
Mhm.
This is this is all the world's a play. Okay. And the way we can use drama has a catharsis, is the classic term. We can watch a good movie that can make us cry, and that moves some of that wounding around grief, right? Um, the you know the wounds. I like to use this with. I like to use this with. Isn't that an interesting term? I like anger, the wounds of anger, and there are many of them. In our culture, we tend to take anger and turn it into violence and say they're equivalent. They're not. Okay. Anger is a normal human feeling. Okay. It's challenging, don't get me wrong, but it's a normal human feeling. Violence is not. Okay. Violence is a behavior, it's not a justification, it's a behavior, right? And when that violence has wounded us, or when we use our violence and wound another, okay, there may be a way to play with that to help heal the wound. Um, yeah, that's given the state of the world, we probably should get a lot of blue
Getting more blue
tansy out
tansy.
there.
Yeah, we need to be using blue tansy every day. If nothing else, just as an inhalation
Yeah,
to help your body
yeah,
introduce a departure from the anger or the hatred or the violence that's happening in the world.
yeah,
Not to stick your head in the sand or anything, but just to help your own body self-regulate and say, I think there could be another pathway.
yeah. Speaking of pathways, can I share something?
Mhm.
See if I can make the technology work.
Is this something you've got coming up?
It's something. It's in that direction.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to share. Yes, it worked.
Mhm.
Will this work? Let us see. Okay. Can you see that there? So this is a chart in process. Um, Classical Chinese medicine, the unique role of a human being is we are between heaven and earth. And because of that, um, that's our place, is between heaven and earth. our role is to bring them together, to move them through us so that there is a unity, a joining of heaven and earth. Okay. Bringing heaven down to earth, bringing earth up to sky. All right. Um, and we've got this axis, this was mentioned earlier, okay, between kidney 1 and governing vessel 20. Right. It's not a solid axis, it's a flexible axis. In fact, I'm going to call it a spine just because I can. All right. And in the middle of this axis is not yet on the chart, and that's the heart of the matter. Okay. So, um, what is the heart of the matter that you're trying to balance? Okay. I mean, I'm thinking I might put points in there like governing vessel 26 or conception vessel 17 or heart 7. If I'm dealing with a woman on her menopausal journey, it might be governing vessel 4. It might be governing vessel 3. It could be anything along that axis where I help the joining of heaven and earth because I've got something in the middle that I can relate to, right? And the middle is the human place. So,
Yes, sometimes I'll use CV6 just because we're
yeah,
creating a new fertile space for what they want to create going
yeah.
forward. The rest of it.
Again, without too much mansplaining, that's the womb space, okay? We all came in through that gateway, right? This is one of the things I love about Taoism is that the divine feminine is the original source, okay? The mystery beyond mystery. So when we in the middle engage with our mysteries, the healings that we need around that, okay, we have this axis that can help us deal and stabilize with that. Further, with this axis, we have these oils, plant allies, good medicine, whatever we want to call them. Okay. We have nature packaged. Okay. Dan, I'm going to get a commission on that. Okay. The uh, it is then in the axis of how we move through our life, including how we stand or sit still in our life. Wow, there's a lot of healing potential there.
Well, we know blue tansy is a flower oil. And Joseph, don't you have something coming up in regards to flowers?
I do, and I'm going to see if I can stop the share. I don't know that.
Oh, there's Cecile. What
You
are you doing
pay no attention to the man in front of the curtain.
here?
Okay.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, I'm putting together. It's years back. I started a program called the Truths of Trees. Okay, and one of the chapters in that is the powers of flowers. And as we're heading into the springtime, April showers bring
May
May
flowers.
flowers. Okay, maybe even May skiing, but maybe not this year. Who
Who
knows?
knows?
But um, in human culture, and I don't know, it works both ways. The chemistry, flowers are for weddings, flowers are for funerals, right? We can use them for emotional balancing. Okay, so I put together a set of a baker's dozen of flowers and a baker's dozen of points, 13 and 13. I'm not going to talk about how many moons there are in a year. That's later. Okay. But so we can play with them, work with them, feel with them, and be ready and able to have an axis of moving through the weddings and funerals of life. I didn't
Nice.
want to be heavy there, but I guess it was a little. But
Do you have a link that you can share with everybody if they're
I
interested in that?
don't at this time, but it will be coming soon to an AcuAroma Therapy enthusiast Facebook group that I know somewhere soon.
Okay. Okay, great. And what's the start date for that?
It is an April start date. I haven't. This is like I'm. I'm getting a new landing place. I'm getting a new home, so that has taken over all the timing. Once I have that, the timing will solidify.
Okay, great, great. All right, no
I'm putting a
pressure,
lot
no
of
pressure.
flower oils.
Well, my offer this month is I'm moving too, Joseph. I'm moving teaching platforms. I'm moving from Teachable over to Kajabi this year, and I have a beautiful team that's helping me do that. Angela Kizka, and I'll do a webinar with her at some point.
Another Angela?
Huh?
Another Angela?
Another Angela.
Angela
Yeah.
squared. Wow.
I know. We talk about that. She lives part-time in the UK, part-time in the US. Anyway, she's just put the 30-day AcuAroma experience over onto Kajabi. It's the first program that's over there, and I am offering this 30-day experience free to anyone who wants to take it. You get an email in your inbox every day for 30 days with a video, an oil, a point, all kinds of things that you can download, and just solidify some of your practice.
I think you got Nancy on that one.
I got Nancy on that one. Yes, so I'm posting the link in the chat, and you can just pop on there and sign up right away and start getting
wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm glad you've liked it.
Last week. It's been great.
Yeah, we do a little qigong, a little guided meditation, an oil and a point, and all 30 of the oils and points are in the card deck. So if you have the deck, you've been a student before, and you have the deck, then you can kind of follow along with that as well. So that's my gift to you, all that good stuff. So thanks for being part of this community. It's just, you know, you guys are the ones who make this the community that it is, because you're out there, you're trying things, you're experimenting, you're enjoying the oils and wanting to learn more about the points all the time. And this is just fantastic for this modality, because we, of course, want to see it grow. And we want to see you grow too.
Yeah. Well, we got Nancy. She's already taken it to the slopes. You know what I mean?
Yes, she does.
And I'm just reading into the chat. It was a gateway oil for me. Nancy, I don't know if you're still there. Your hair's fine. But what does that mean? It was a gateway.
They talk about marijuana being a gateway drug for Harvard drugs.
Yeah.
So it was an early introduction to blend with Blue Tansy, where I just fell in love. It was like, more of this, please.
Yeah. Now imagine this with the Rucus.
Well, I am. I've already got a bunch of ideas. It's kind of, it's like, do I get off? Do I stay here and listen? How do I take all these notes? Especially actually just before this call, a dad called me with a trauma with a 10-year-old. And so I've been thinking about whether there's something I can make for her that's appropriate. Anyway, what did I want to say about, is it okay to email your friend Dan and see if there's something between 5 mils and, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, he has all sorts of different sizes.
Yeah, he has all different sizes.
Yeah, the sizes that I saw were really big, or so I will email them, because I will.
He'll work with you. Yeah, he's wonderful, wonderful man.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, and are you working with Cecile Ellert or a different Cecile?
Yeah, that's Cecile Ellert. Yeah, she's got a pendulum class coming up. It was listed in the AcuAroma Therapy enthusiast group, so just scroll the posts and.
Yeah, I'll take a look. We had a wonderful connection in Nashville, and
nice. Yeah, she's beautiful. I love her daughter Chloe too. We're good friends.
Well, anyway.
And I hope to see, you know, maybe some of you at the NAHA conference in Tampa in October. The code, if you want to become a friend of NAHA, is NAHA New, and you get a discount. So it's only $40 to become a member. And that gets you a monthly webinar that you can attend, tons of resources on that site that you'll have access to. And I'm telling you, they're my tribe, they're my people. I've been, I sent out an email yesterday. I've been a director for Oregon for 10 years. This is my decade anniversary of being a director for NAHA. And I can't say enough good things about this organization that they're just very special and always trying to make a better world through the use of essential oils in safe and effective ways. So good group of people. Yeah.
Mhm. And that was Naha New, all caps.
Yeah. Naha New. So you can become a friend of Naha for only $40 with that discount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, let's see. We have all the time we need in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, does anybody have anything
Sure
they
we
want to
do.
share?
Sure
Maybe
we
something
do.
that happened in their own life or with clients?
By the way, Nancy, I love the gateway. Okay. I do a lot of work with the terpenes, the cannabinoids, and the flavones of cannabis. And back in classical Chinese medicine, the Apex Materia Medica, the herbal manual, if you will, um, 3,300 characters on cannabis and 8 different parts of the plant being used as
No
medicines.
kidding.
Okay.
No kidding.
And by the time I get to acupuncture school, that had all disappeared. And all that was left was a seed that had been dry fried and that was good for elder people's constipation. Okay.
Oh my God.
And dry frying the seed makes it so you can't grow your own. Okay. Whether you're using it for hemp, which is fiber, okay, and which is the original paper. When you go from bamboo to writing Chinese characters down, it's going to be on hemp paper. There's hemp clothing for men and there's hemp clothing for women that are basically dyed either black or white, depending on their role in the grieving rituals. So there, there's a whole history. That gateway was lost. Okay,
Mm.
forgotten is the term.
Does this make you a cannabis
Oh, it does. He must be.
nerd?
I'm a terpene terp. That's what it is.
I just made a new word, Joseph. You
I
could do
know.
it, I could do it.
Well, you annoyed too. Okay, and I'm not annoyed with you. Okay.
I did want to throw in right here at the end that Peter Holmes, who I studied with, I don't know, Joseph, did you study
Yep.
with him too? Yeah. Who's, I don't know, kind of the godfather of AcuAroma Therapy. Uh, Aroma Acupoint Therapy. I guess that's what he calls it. He's got a new book out. So if you want to go to snowlotus.org, I just purchased it. It's on its way. So I'm excited to have another book of his. Yeah, totally worth it. So Snow
Wait,
Lotus.
we got 70 messages. Hold on. Hold the
Did we get,
phone.
card deck. Great. Thanks. Awesome. Sign me up.
Okay.
Cheryl, thank you for signing up. I saw
Yeah.
that come through.
Hey, great.
Great.
Love your card deck. There it is. Another unsolicited testimonial.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you here on the magic and wisdom of essential oils. Next month, we're going to have some fun too, because it's March 8th and we'll be even more coming into the flow. So we're going to just keep on that theme and get some nice spring energy started to generate for you. So I hope that interests you. Invite somebody to come next time. Invite somebody, share that link with them when we post it in the enthusiast group and email it out, and bring a friend.
Nancy, you'll appreciate this one. You can be their gateway into AcuAroma Therapy.
Ooh, you could.
I'm trying to remember what I was talking about on the chairlift this morning, but slowly letting people know. I said, I'm studying this new to me thing. And so we were talking about it, and she said, what is an essential oil? And I thought, how many people do you know who actually don't even know what an essential oil is?
Most of them.
Really? I mean, where I live, there are very few people who don't know. And beyond that, who mostly use them improperly. So it's been a job up my little burg to talk about dilution and talk about safety and talk about, anyway, I will stop there, but I was talking about it on the internet this morning, and when they said, I'm going in, and I said, yeah, I'm going home because that's something I want to listen to. Here I am.
Yep.
Thank you.
You know what they say, are you experienced? Have you ever been experienced? Okay. The essential oils, in my experience in the public that I deal with, is, oh, those are the things my friend has a monthly thing with, and and then they're always like, yeah. It's like, it's kind of weird, okay? And to have them be something that is a day-to-day medicinal, a day-to-day pleasure, something that is actually a part of life, because the plants are in fact a part of life. In fact, they're how life was. Oh well, don't get me going, okay?
And by the way, we don't get a commission when we, promote Dan at Nature Packaged. We just love him, and we love his oils and what he's doing. And that's how we reciprocate our appreciation, by just sharing. Yeah.
Well,
One more story for
now
you.
that I think about the response, so I was talking about elecampane and honey as a cough remedy.
Yeah.
And she said, well, if my cough gets any worse or it doesn't get better soon, maybe I'll call you. But it was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to suffer with this for a little while longer. It's like, oh, go right ahead.
Last ditch effort, they call us, right?
Okay, one more full disclosure. You see this? Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It's got all sorts of crazy things in it, okay?
Yeah. Right.
So this is like the second year of COVID, and we're back outside and we can listen to music. And I'm at a table with like 8 of my friends from my dance community, and I'm here, smell this, and here, smell this. I had 3 of them. I had like an appetizer, a main dish, and a dessert, basically. Okay. And there's a woman at another table that goes, "What are you doing?" And I don't know where these things come from. Sometimes I go, "Oh, I'm microdosing my friends on essential oils."
Huh.
And it was like, shit. First, there's a look of shock. Then there's a look of, can I have some too? Um, and you know, most people, I did environmental education for years. Most kids know that plants and foods come from the grocery store. Okay. And they don't know where they got to the grocery store from. And that includes the truckers and the distribution, but seldom does it include actually touching the land. Okay.
With
And
essential oil.
what these let us do is inhale, ingest, connect between heaven and earth with the land, the plants, and life. Somebody write that down. That was good. Okay.
That was
Good. You got that recorded.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and we need that connection. I mean, I know you started this conversation, Angela, with the need for connection. And
Absolutely.
I think that as I know you won't believe this, but as an introvert, I find that I do so much connecting kind of in my own sphere that I don't find myself kind of quote unquote needing to connect. But here I am, always whether it's with my essential oils or the pottery that I use on a daily basis, it's just, I'm so used to connecting with my environment that I forget that people actually feel isolated, because
Yeah.
I don't feel isolated.
Yeah.
Are you a potter, Nancy?
No, I'm not. I'm actually a weaver, but
Okay.
but I, I'm now old enough to say that 50 years of collecting pottery. A friend of mine once said, "Oh, I see. I used to live in the wilderness, way up in the wilderness." And she'd say, "Oh, I see why you're never lonely. You have Leslie's mug and Peter's plates and, so and so's bowls. And so you're surrounded by your friends, even when you're out here with the bear and the moose and the deer." And I thought, oh, she's so right, because it also allowed me to reconnect with all of the beauty that those things bring me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got some blue tansy in my hands, and I'm going to end this
Nancy, go ahead.
beautiful time
Do this.
together. Sending everyone some beautiful blue
Watch,
tansy.
feel this, okay? Yeah.
All right. May you have lots of flow and ease throughout this month, and happy Valentine's Day. Spread some love, spread some blue tansy love, or some vetiver love. Thank you for being here. We will see you next month.
When next we meet, March 8th.
March 8th.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Peace out.